This was a place born of fire. Over thousands of years, the earth cools and life gradually sprang forth. In the oceans and on the land. The Aborigines tell stories of how the land was created.
At the start of the Yakin, or dreaming, Fermier, the great creator spirit, sent 4 creator beings to shape the different features that make our country. Now these beings, they weren't like you or me, no. They were giants. But they took on the shape of men and became the first lawmen who had special spiritual and ceremonial powers. To this day, their descendants perform special duties. Now, 3 of these original lawmen moved to other parts of the country, to the north and west. The 4th lawman stayed in this country, and when he crouched down, his giant body transformed into Tapok in Butch Bin, what the whitefellas call Mount Napier and Mount Eccles. When Butch Bin erupted some 30,000 years ago, molten lava and stone rained across the land. With this mighty eruption, my people, the Gunditjmara, witnessed the creator being reveal himself. Today, you can still see evidence of the great creator being all across the land. The scoria stones that are scattered across the country, they're his teeth. And as you walk through this country, the country of the Gunditjmara, look, listen. You can still feel his spirit.
When the Aborigines first saw the tall masts of sailing ships, they lit fires right along the coast to signal to other clans that there were new arrivals coming. The new arrivals were sealers and whalers. If I say so myself, they were hard and ruthless men, not to be trifled with. Well, at first the Aborigines welcomed them. And what did they do in return? They went to war with them, that's what. But spears and clubs were no match for the whalers' muskets and gunpowder. And the Aborigines were either killed or driven from their country. It was a sorry business. The whalers had come here to plunder these giant beasts, and nothing was going to deter them. I should know. I was one of them. And why were we here hunting whales on this isolated, god-forsaken coastline? To feed the insatiable demand for whale oil and whale bone on the other side of the world. That's why.
Machines of the Industrial Revolution signaled momentous changes. The steam-driven machines of the Victorian era transformed the world. Automation created entirely new industries that allowed factories to produce goods on an unimaginable scale. Goods were traded around the world, and in return, exotic goods from the far corners of the globe were imported. If you were part of the middle class, it was a time of plenty, and a cornucopia of goods from all over the world could be purchased at one of the latest innovations, the department store.
In the glittering surrounding of Harrods can be found practically anything from almost anywhere in the world. Ivory goods from the Orient, ebony from darkest Africa, sandwich glass from Massachusetts, coffee from Brazil, porcelain from the Orient.
Of all the products available to the well-to-do in the Victorian age, one of the most indispensable was whale oil. Its superior lubricating qualities made whale oil the ideal product to keep industrial steam engines operating. But whale oil was also used on the domestic front. Whale oil lamps lit up the homes of the wealthy and fashionable. It provided a brighter light than other animal fats available and produced far less smoke. Whale oil was extensively used in toiletries, cosmetics and soaps. While whale oil was highly prized, whale bone too was a much sought after product. In many ways, whale bone was the plastic of its day. It was strong and flexible and could be put to numerous uses. Whalebone was used to make buggy whips, as well as the springs on which the carriages rode. It was used to make brushes, combs, the ribs for parasols and umbrellas, and fishing rods. But it was in women's fashion that whalebone made the greatest impression. To complete the ensemble, voluminous skirts supported by hoops of whalebone were all the rage in fashionable society. Whalebone and oil were luxury products, but the fashions and technology of the day meant there was a ready market willing to pay a premium for them.
When I think about those fancy ladies and gents who lived in their fine houses in their big cities across the other side of the world, little did they give a thought to where their whalebone and oil came from. Now, to be fair, before the whalemen came to Devonport town, I'd never have given it a second thought either. But the whaling boss did come, and he offered us jobs that would make us all our fortunes. I can still remember the night like it was yesterday.
Listen up, gentlemen. Listen up. Bit of quiet, boys. Well, thank you. I'm after a dozen good, stout men to crew my boats. I need to be strong enough to pull an oar, not afraid of a bit of hard work.
What's the wages like, boss?
I'll pay better than you'll get labouring in town or on a farm.
I hear that whaling's a mug's game.
Not a bit of it. You'll be going after rights. They call them that because they come right into shore. They're slow, and when they're dead, they float. And they produce plenty of oil. So that makes them just right fun. So, who's interested? Drinks all round, barkeep. And I want to see all you lads on the foreshore tomorrow.